you are the business strategist and have your business strategist produce over 450 millions of dollars in sales, which is insane. So for the company, so can you share which common sales strategy you use in all those companies to hit this milestone of 450 million of dollar?
For sure. So, the thing is, again, is back to results, right? The core to everything I do is defining in your mind.
Easy come, easy go.
Hi guys, what is up? What is up? What is up? So I'm back again with on the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show. Today we have super awesome guest. But before getting on the our guest, welcome to the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show. This is where we interview entrepreneurs, affiliate marketer, coaches, and consultants. And in this amazing series, today we have a super awesome guest with us. So he is a business growth strategist with he is mentored by Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, and Chet Holmes. He is the founder of Coach Troy's High Frequency Habit. His business strategies have produced over 450 millions of dollar in sales. This is insane. For the companies, he is the speaker, best-selling author, and consultant. He is passionate is to learn, execute, and inspire people with simple solutions that create massive shift. He coaches entrepreneurs and share the strategies so they able to scale their business. Coach Troy is a partner of Bob Proctor as a certified PGI consultant and also with partner with the Chet Holmes. So let's have Troy on the stage. So hi Troy. Troy, how's everything going on?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing?
I'm really super excited and super pumped up. So really grateful to have you on the show.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
I'm really excited. And before we start this, so are you heard me loud and clear? My voice is clear.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much once again for hopping on us live. And guys, if you are watching us live, drop hashtag live on replay, drop hashtag replay. And if you have any question, you can ask with Troy. And also make sure you take pen and paper because we have so many golden nuggets today. So Troy, before we move further, could you share a little bit about yourself and how you got started? So my people who don't know you, they started knowing about you and your backstory.
For sure. No, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be invited, and look forward to being a part of this with you today. So, no, my name's Coach Troy, and I'm a Canadian business strategist, and what my pleasure is helping people really be able to define what their goal really is, what they really want to achieve, and create outstanding results in their life. Be able to then take that goal, apply a core story to it, uh, and then next be able to take that and position that in front of your Dream 100 clients, and then be able to help guide you through that entire process from start to finish. With that, the big thing is when you can have that kind of sequence, that's the exact process that I personally used to be able to figure out, get through all the noise of everything that's happening around us and what people are telling us we should do and could do. And when I chunked it down and studied some of the greatest mentors in the world, and you've mentioned them before, but people like Chet Holmes, Bob Proctor, and Tony Robbins, and just so many wonderful leaders in our world today. It's being able to study what works for me and my goals and my results, and then figure out now for also my clients. And what that did for me, and if you're wondering, is that the same thing will happen for you, is when you go through that type of a flow, you're going to come home happier and be more present for yourself, be able to have a better self-confidence and self-image, because it's you that matters the most and how you feel. And then next, it's gonna impact your family. There's nothing better than dad coming home in a good mood and looking forward to growth and goals and wanting their family to grow. And and that's the thing. Like I enjoy being a product of the product and involving my entire family in our business. And when you have that much momentum, you can go to your work, to your company, to your job, whichever position you're in. But you can now lead the team around you, and you'll be the leader of the team instead of just a manager or just another teammate. And when you can have that type of power and that much momentum going on with you, you're going to have customers that'll become raving fans and will definitely follow you very loyally.
Definitely. Yeah. So how you feel you that matters is the most. How you feel actually it is matters the most, and you have to spend your time with family, and definitely it's really an inspiring journey. So you are the business strategist and have your business strategies produce over 450 millions of dollars in sales, which is insane. So for the company, so can you share which common sales strategy you use in all those companies to hit this milestone of 450 million of dollar?
For sure. So, the thing is, again, is back to results, right? The core to everything I do is defining in your mind what it is that you can envision. So if you're working in an organization and someone said that the goal is $2 million, but you can see that the goal for yourself that you see that as being the average. Now think of this: 95% of people play in the average category. I'll be kind and say 90%, but I'm just saying 95% of people on this planet today make only 5 or 10% of the money. So if you really think about it, out of the 100 people in the room, there's really only, one or two people, three people that are actually earning the most amount of money that's being drawn into that room. And so when you put that on the grand scale of things, you got to think outside of what the average is. If the average person is only producing a certain result, think of what the next level result would be, but even think of it at a grander scale. That's what I help people define. And most people, they focus on the roadblock, and or they focus on the journey, and they don't understand what that climb, how good it's going to feel, and they can't really envision it. Once you put that vision into your mind and you can really feel it into your soul and you become obsessed with achieving it, you will achieve it. It's no different than going to, I don't know, Walmart down the street. When you get out of your home and you say, this is where we're going, that your car points there, or your bike or whatever, and you actually, that's where you end up going. Well, the same thing happens in business or sales. You put out the goal and then you figure out what are the quick pieces that you have to do. So if you're selling houses and you want to make earn $1 million, you have to figure out how many houses at what commission you're going to get there. It's super simple, but most people can't see it that way. And so for me, I would say that always the thing is picking the craziest goal that scares the living daylights out of you to hit, and then just go after it and start. And like Luke, my son, would say, is just start and don't think about it, just go. And when you just do that, that's what's going to start producing that. However, don't worry about how you're going to do that, but now start to look in your backyard or in your circle and figure out who are the people that are going to help, that are going to see that vision that you excited to share that with, and that aren't going to criticize it, but say to you, "Here, Troy, this is what you should be doing," or they see you offside. So surround yourself with mentors and leaders, right? Surround yourself with people that you want to ask for help or guidance or leadership. Don't look for people that are going to pull you back down. And for me, that's why I came up with high frequency habits. Is what are the habits each and every day that are going to do that? So if we know in the morning this is our goal, we know that the frequency that we need to play at to be able to get there, then then everything will start to happen. And identify, I think one piece of gold nugget that I learned was, you can create a to-do list every night before bed, but I'm also going to recommend that you create a not to-do list, because you already know the crap that's holding you back, or that's stopping momentum or reversing it.
This is something insane because everyone told create to-do list, but you mentioned like create not to list, because that is something that stops you to doing the stuff that is actually not producing results for you. This is something that is really open my mind. Bulb one moment I have this point on this point. So definitely high frequency habits are going to work. So could you like to share what is the high frequency habits you are following into your
For
business?
sure. I realize that people, everything's energy, everything's vibration in the world. And so whatever you're putting out there, whether it's a high frequency or negative frequency, is going to determine the type of people you attract. Think of a radio station. You could be listening to, 72.1 on your FM dial or 107, people are going to tune into different types of music or different frequency, different energy. And it's just the way that the world works. And energy cannot be created nor destroyed. We've proven that. So that means that somewhere along there, you have to make sure that you're around the right energy and how to produce that. So for me, the key point is it's super easy to become depressed, anxious, addicted to drugs, alcohol, all kinds of things. You can do all of those things, and that will produce a result. On average, you can look, most people don't have a very successful life. And then you can look at the people who are, wake up in the morning, have purpose, have results, have goals, are surrounded by energetic people and inspiring people that talk in a positive way and not a negative way. They drink lots of water, they're hydrated, they eat clean foods, they do all of the things that are positive and forward thinking, which thus becomes high frequency. And when you show up with that kind of energy and you're not slouched over and you're ready to go, I mean, I'm standing up today. Like, I'm ready to go. I want this to be I want to create a good energy because I want your audience to be standing up too and get up and get fired up. That is, that to me is there's little habits all day long. Is there things that can bring you down? Of course there is. That's human. Why? Because it's a paradigm that's already programmed in our body from our parents and their parents and their parents before that. And so when that programming is already there, you either have to decide, do you like the results of what your parents got? Or do you need to interrupt it, change the frequency and move it forward? Are you happy with what your friends and the people around you are? Because you're just the sum of all the people around you. It's just a big ball of energy. And if you look, the results are easy to look at. How does the bathroom scale look like? How's your cholesterol, right? How do you feel mentally, right? What's your language like? What are you focused on? What does your bank account look like? All of these things are easy key performance indicators of what results you're getting in your life. Those results are because of things in your mind that are producing the same results. So either we change it or we get happy with the results, because it's really easy to predict.
That is insane. And as Tony Robbins always mentioned, proximity is the power. So
Yes.
this is what happens. This is what works. So the really insane moment there. So guys, just drop bulb on if you have bulb on moment, and just follow the strategies that shared by Coach Troy. So in the current scenario now, I want to shift this towards business strategies. So the current scenario, there is too much competition. So how do entrepreneurs stand out as a unique from their competition?
That one's really easy. I think people don't realize how easy it really is. So if you take what I do at Chet Holmes International, so I'm the executive strategy officer at Chet Holmes International, and I work with Chet's daughter Amanda. Chet passed away just about exactly 10 years ago, and he created the book, The Ultimate Sales Machine. That book is the book that was one of three that really changed my life. But when you look at what it is that you're doing, you need to start listening and find out what exactly your customer is looking for. Define that customer. Well, first of all, define your result, right? So if you know that the result is to get X amount of customers or X amount of revenue, don't worry about what you're not doing. Just worry about what you need to do. Then go out and figure out study your marketplace and find out for real what your market really wants, right? It's one thing to say, I don't know, I'll just use cars, but maybe your customer wants cars, but what else do they really want? What other values can you add to it to make sure that you're the most expensive car dealer in your city? And you don't want to be the cheapest. If you're fighting for price, you're going to be amongst a whole pile of noise. So what you want to do is you want to define the exact client you want. Maybe it's someone who makes $30,000 a year. Maybe it's someone that makes $200,000 a year. Define your customer and find out what are the things that you can do to solve most of their problems and make their experience the best. Focus on those few things and then really go out and talk to your customer and make sure you're understanding everything about them. And that's what we do with Core Story, is we teach people that, what your life is going to be like because of working with you, or what's their life going to be like because of working with you. When you get really good at that part as understanding it, then you can go back and start to educate the customer on why working with you, with your products and services, is the best solution. And when you educate them rather than sell them, you're going to have a different experience with your customer. Your customer will fall in love with it because they're going to learn more from you than just simply buying a car, right? For example, if you said to people, you know what, most women who get assaulted at night are driving crappy cars because they're broken down. Well, if you look at that, right, and you start educating a person on why they should look at better vehicles, or how many men have lost their job because their car is broken down on the freeway on the way to work, you can actually start educating a customer on why that car is so important, and then start to help them figure out, how do you afford a brand new car rather than a used junky car? As you go through this education, you start to become a consultative salesperson. I would recommend every person on this show get the Ultimate Sales Machine book, follow it, live by it, because that is the book that literally, it's over 500 million now, but but if you think about it, I did a whole campaign on this here just recently, where with Amanda, and I went to a particular company, and I worked with their clients that had already said no to a bunch of proposals. So I went in and redid that with an education-based process that we do at Chet Holmes International, and I was able to create $42 million in less than 90 days. Average salesperson in that company sells $8 million, so I crushed all of those goals within 90 days. So what I'm saying is, and the margins were even higher. So when you look at it, you can go in and do that, stand out, because right now, today, everybody's trying to get everybody's attention, and people are trying to put banners and pop-up ads and everything else. And you drive down your street of your city, and there's billboards all over the place that are coming at you, and signs. Go find your real customer and educate them, help them, and just be a lone shark sneaking in at stealth mode. Go do it. Go listen to your customer.
This is insane advice. This is literally insane, because you have to become a good listener. If you become, this is something, if you want to become a good salesman, you have to become a good listener as well, right?
Mm-hmm. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Spend a little double the time listening, right? It's I can't say it enough. Listen to your customer, of what causes them pain and what keeps them up at night.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah. And then figure out how your company and you can solve that problem for them, and you will be a winner. I promise.
Wow. Definitely, it is insane. Well, one moment we have there. So many a time, entrepreneurs who are into business for at least 2 years, or intermediate level, after achieving some kind of result, but somewhere down the line they stuck into their business, they are not able to get sales, or they are not able to grow at next step, and they become procrastinator, and they become lazy into the business. So how they move the needle to overcome, so the things keep going on into their business, how they keep move the needle?
It happens to everybody who doesn't have a goal.
Okay.
When you have a goal and you have a result that's drawn on your wall, for instance, I'll go back to the car dealer, because everybody knows car dealers. And if you write on there that you're going to sell 11 cars per month, period, and you already know how much commission you're going to get for those 11 cars, and you become obsessed with that idea, what it's going to do for you, for your family, for the team, and you come and you say, that's what I'm doing. And if the average person's selling 6, you stay with 11. And no matter what, you figure it out, and you put that on there, and every night before you go home from work, you take out a piece of paper and you write down the stuff that prevented you from getting there. Was it not enough calls? Was it not enough follow-ups? Right? Every sale should get at least 5 no's. If you stopped at the first no, then shame on you. You should go back. You didn't give them enough value. So the only reason people say no is you didn't give them enough information. So that when you go back, and so if you keep going after and going after and going after, when you journal that at night, and you write down on your journal what you plan on doing at 7 a.m. in the morning to already start the day up, whether that's doing jumping jacks or push-ups or go for a jog. But you already in the nighttime, before you go home, you already set the intention of what you're going to do first thing in the morning so that you can already have that programmed in your mind to get the ball rolling. So when you wake up, you don't stay sleeping because you've already intended the night before that at 7 a.m. you're going to pick up the phone and you're going to dial up 5 more customers to sell that car. Get your butt in that car, drive it over to the office building and tell everybody, come outside. You got the most impressive thing in the world to show them. I just 5 minutes. 3 people out of 100 always will be ready to buy that moment. So that's the average, by the way, 3 people. So if you need to sell 3 cars, you need to go talk to a few hundred people. But that's the thing. It's not that hard when you actually just do it. Yeah.
This is it. I have so many insane and bulb-on moments right now in this session. So, as you mentioned, out of 100 people, only 3 people buy. This is something literally and insane. And so, could you share a 3 pieces, like if someone is connecting with people or customers on the call, so how they proceed the sales call? Like any framework, step-by-step process do you have?
For selling?
Yeah, for selling.
For sure. So it changes depending on like a few different things, but I think that the always thing is go out there. Again, have your goal in mind. Figure out exactly what it is you sell and what makes you stand out amongst your marketplace. Now get in front of your customers and start to probe them. Find out what is a problem that they need to solve. When you figure that part out, then present to them what your solution is and how you're going to solve their greatest needs and pain, and wait for objections. And when you have those objections, then give them more value and more information. Try for a close. And if you can't get a close, because most people are, by the way, afraid to ask for money. So that's why they just send text messages and emails to try and close. And that's not a sale. That Amazon does that already. So you can't compete with that. So get a close. And if they say yes, you're done. Now ask for a referral. If they've still said no, go back to the first part, probe for more pain, present more information, handle objections, close.
This is insane. And this is literally a great piece, but there is so many kind of objections. So in your journey, what kind of objection have you faced? Like any one objection you face, or how you handle that one objection according to your
Yeah,
experience?
they're actually all the same objection. An objection is feedback. An objection for most people hurts their feelings and they feel like they failed and they screwed up. An objection means I haven't heard enough information to convince me that you are the person to do it. So if someone says I can't afford it right now, I got to be honest with you. If you had $0 in your pocket and you cut yourself and you're bleeding and I have a bandage, you will figure out really quick how to come up with the $5 for that bandage to save your life. So get that desperate for something where you literally, no matter what, are going to help that person get that bandage. So what you say to them is you say, you know what, I totally understand how you feel about this. Let me find out a little bit more. And you start digging and you start probing again. And you probe and you probe and you dig until you find out why. If they flat out say no, you can gently ask why. But I'd personally leave the conversation at that point. And what I do is then I say to them, and then I'll come back and I'll recalibrate my own story and my own presentation for them. They say, no, we're just simply not interested, get out. Yeah, that's fine. But if they say, I can't afford it, I got to ask my wife, I got to ask my husband, I got to, whatever it is that they come up with, they're basically saying to you is, I'm interested, but I don't know enough.
People
Actually,
need more.
I'll help you out though. Is the most common thing, by the way, in our world right now, because I get lots of people that are always presenting to me. Stop selling. Stop selling. Start educating. Start listening to your customer. It's a busy world. I look at even where you're from. There's a lot of people there. I mean, Canada is very sparse, but I look at how many people in your city. Think of how much noise walking down the street and every single person that wants to get a dollar from somebody. It's so confusing and overwhelming that we're turning people off. So that's why you go study your client, make an appointment, go sit down with them, and become their best friend. Relationships are everything, because what you're really trying to do is you're trying to get them to purchase based on an emotional experience. It's all emotion. There's only two reasons someone will ever buy from everybody that's listening to this show. There's only two reasons. Number is to either gain pleasure or avoid pain. And 90% of the purchases in this world today are to avoid pain.
Definitely.
So stop telling people that all the pleasure you're going to get, and solve the problems that you could actually do.
Pen to pleaser, like as always, every Russell Brunson, Dean Graziosi, Tony Robbins mentioned, like pen to pleaser, A to B. So this is a literally great piece of advice right now we have. So guys, share your biggest takeaway. If you had any question, you can drop in the chat box. So uh,
My
you
camera's
and
making my head look funny here a little bit. I apologize.
it's clearly visible. So yeah. You and Luke love to teach Bob Proctor stuff. Would you like to share any 5 things that made an impact in your life from Bob Proctor's teaching?
Yeah, Bob is like literally he's the king, and Tony's a king. Chet's a king. They have their categories, right? Tony was the one who really taught me about emotional behavior and how to, really neurologically program my mind so that I could figure things out and had a lot of impact. Bob, though, on the other hand, is something special because Bob was able to teach me about how the mind really works. And Bob studied Napoleon Hill so much with Think and Grow Rich, and just to be around Bob was an absolute an amazing experience. But here's the deal, on August 15th, Luke and I are going to teach. We start a new group and it's the Thinking and Results program. And sorry, the banner's cut off behind me, but the Thinking and Results program is the program that changed my life. And what happened to me is I understood how important setting really big goals was, but I needed to understand, okay, so now I've got my goal. How do I crack the code to really understanding the mind so that my mind would never shift back into my old habits, my old belief system, but look for a way of identifying the things that are really going to work. So I might sound like a really smart person to some people today, but the truth is the Thinking and Results program is what really created that, because I was able to understand that there's certain things in my mind that were happening that were producing results. But I needed to really truly figure it out. And it didn't matter if you went to counselors or specialists or mentors or all those, it didn't really matter. I needed to talk to the man who had already studied hundreds of people or thousands of people and really understood the key things that were going to change your mind. And so what I realized is I could take those 12 pieces that Bob teaches in Thinking Results, and I could apply them to my life. And then I went and got my kids at 10 years old, and Luke was, I guess, I don't know, 10 or something, maybe 9. And then Everett was at 7 at the time. So if you look at it, those two kids both carry gold cards, and they both understand Thinking Results just as good as anybody. And the same with my wife. And so what's interesting is when you when you follow that system, you get nothing but results. And so on August 15th, we're actually starting a brand new group again. And every week for an hour, we get together and restudy that program together. And so it's people that really, really want to take their life to the next level. It's not about your funnel. It's not about your presentation. It's not about anything. It starts in your mind. I promise you, and every other person on this call, is your mind. 95% of everything you're about to do today and for the rest of your life, whether it's in your personal life, in your romantic life, in your business, or anything else, when your mind is conditioned first, the strategy part becomes absolutely simple. But right now, people are trying to figure out technology and funnels and processes and all these different steps. How do I get in front of my customer? It's not that. It's the mind first. Trust me, I fought this forever. When you do that part and you get that, the rest of it will become so easy because you'll understand how to control your mind. And so Luke and I actually on this particular one reteach it together. Luke's 13, but Luke's, he's been on your show and he's worked with Mark Victor Hansen and Yeti Outdoor Products and so many amazing people. And I'm not here to brag about us. I'm here to tell you that when you have something different in your mind, there's not a lot of 13-year-olds that are interviewing the world's greatest authors. The reason he's doing that isn't because of me. It's because he was able at a young age now to already condition his mind to see the opportunities that he demands in his life. And the rest of it becomes really simple. So if a 13-year-old or a 10-year-old can do it and a 40-year-old guy can do it, that's what I'm saying. Anybody can do this.
Yeah. So this is definitely insane, and Luke is the elder son, and he's just 13-year-old, and this is the first time we have father and son on the Entrepreneurs Warrior show. So this is really a proud moment for me as well. And definitely, if a 13-year young boy can do it, definitely anyone can do it. Yes. And Luke has so much thing in his mind. I did an interview, so I know how much powerful his value, his information is. So definitely, thank you so much for sharing this golden nuggets about Bob Proctor's learning, because everything starts from mind. Like if I want to close $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, or $1,000,000, it is all about mindset, nothing else. This is what I learned, and definitely you clearly mentioned right now. Thank you so much for this bulb on and really insightful thoughts right now. So yeah, you mentioned, yeah, like you are working with the Tony. You are mentored by Tony Robbins, Chet Holmes, Bob Proctor. So, what kind of things a shift into your business? Like, is what kind of shift happens into your business, into your life, into your career?
Oh, the average person that if they're making 40 or some $1,000s a year in my country, and sorry, I don't remember all the averages for a global, but if you look at when you go from average and you decide to be above that and move into that 3% category, that's when life really changes. That doesn't have to mean 3% financially. That could be 3% in fitness. That could be 3% in the marriage world, right? Or as a parent, anything you want. Maybe you're the top volunteer for helping people. But when you really start to be able to take a vision, put it on a vision board, and be able to put all the pieces in that you demand in your life, and you put all that out on paper, there's nothing more special than that. And because at some point that when you obsess over that, that's the result you're going to get. And I think like that's the thing for me is that changed my life was now achieving everything that you set out to do, and to keep pushing yourself and having even more goals. I mean, there's things that are neat out there. Define your level of success. For some people, a Lamborghini and a Rolex and everything else is the thing. And for me, it's about the experience and the journey. And it's about helping more people and getting people to at least feel dang good about their life. Right? To me, it's not all about showing off and telling people what you can buy. It's telling people what you can actually do and how you can create emotional impact in people. That's the shift.
This is insane, and definitely making an impact in people's life is something really happy. And we are going to on the bed with a peaceful mind, not with any stress or any anxiety. So really great peace right now we have from you. So before we wrap up the show, guys, if you have any queries, you can drop your question into comment section. And Troy, where people can find you and about your stuff, and I'll drop all the link in the chat box. So would you like to share anything about your
Yeah,
website?
you could go to coachtroy.ca.
Okay, here's it.
Yeah.
Here's it. So I'll drop this website in the chat box and in the description. You can figure it out and you can just check it out. So Any before we wrap up the show, last piece of advice from you, like how people develop their mind, how people or entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, intermediate level people work on their mind or mindset, grow their mindset.
Honestly, is you get in touch with the people that are following this show, or they go to coachtroy.ca. Find me on Facebook, but honestly, do the Thinking into Results program. It's not me teaching it. I'm facilitating and helping you go through it. But if you don't get impact from that, I am determined that you did not want to grow. If you do that program, I promise you the most smartest human beings have learned from Bob Proctor. When we do that part, and then if we take that to the next level after that, then or you come to Chet Holmes International, you could go there too. And when you learn from these two places, but you ask for mindset. Like Chet Holmes is about more strategy and things like that too. But I'm talking about like when you want mindset, take a look at Thinking into Results. There's nothing better. I can tell you, I've been to every Tony Robbins event, and they're amazing. But I'm telling you that the thing is with Thinking into Results is you can go to a show and you can get motivated and you can learn a lot of things, and you're surrounded by amazing people for 4 or 5 days. I guess some of Tony's are even 6 or 7 days. But when you apply study and you do that for 6 months, and every single Monday you show up, with myself and Luke will be on there, and Bob. Bob passed away, so we use videos and whatnot, and Bob passed away here in February. But when you put all of that together and you study and you study and you study, if you give yourself a half an hour a day, my friend, with Thinking Results, and Coach Troy, I promise you, that's a serious promise. Your life will never be the same, and your spouse will, and your kids and your team will definitely come to you and say, "What happened?"
So
Oh, you're cutting out there for a second. Just talk a little bit more.
hello.
Perfect.
Oh, sorry for that interruption. So, thank you so much, Coach Troy, for once again for sharing tons of golden nuggets with me and my audience. Really grateful to have you on the show. So, I'll be joining you in a minute. So, till then, have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So there you go, guys. There you go. He is a Troy Aberle, and he shares tons of golden nugget with us on the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show. So really grateful for him, and please show your love into comments. What is your biggest takeaway from this particular session? So just share your biggest takeaways, and I'll drop this session into the this is my Facebook group. So if you are not a part of Facebook group, just check the link in the description or in the comment section. And yes, as I announced, the 5 days content cash flow challenge is starting from the 8th of August. So I'll drop all the link and details into the chat box, and you can just drop hashtag content if you want, if you are struggling into content creation or your content is not converting. So just drop hashtag content, so I'll send you the details. Till then, Nilesh Jain signing off, and I'll be joining you and meet you in the next episode with amazing guests or entrepreneurs on our show. Till then, bye bye. Have a great day.